The hardest setback and obstacle to overcome is dealing with past trauma and abuse. Now, why is this? Because past trauma is just simply the pain that somebody inflicted on you while you were helpless, usually as a kid. And most people, especially when it comes to emotional abuse, is the hardest because it's one of the things that is hard for people to overcome. Like is something, and it's usually over years. So people, they don't have that they don't have the knowledge, usually because they're a kid. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have even the awareness, even to even know that it's an abuse. Take for example, they have this superstar, it's a Nickelodeon star, Jennette McCurdy. I'm pretty sure you heard about her story. She came up with this memoir, I'm glad my mom died, or something like that. I'm glad my mom died. Yeah, exactly. So when most people, you see the headline and you're shocked, because most people, um I mean, there's a lot of people you wish they're dead, but not your mom. You see what I'm saying? Because most people, that's their comfort. Your mom is their comfort zone. They can tell them anything. But wishing your mom was dead, or glad that your mom is dead, even if she died, it's not normal. It's, you don't see that very often. So anyways, she basically, in the memoir, she basically went over to say, how she started acting in a young age, and then she was basically forced into revealing her body and stuff like that. You know how acting can get. So basically, she didn't want to do the things that she did on camera, basically. And so she felt like she had some past trauma. She was abused into doing these things. And so she went into, counseling, seeking therapy and getting some help. And then she overcame that, and then teaching other people on how she did it. So I'm not gonna go in details. You can read about her story in the link below, and it's just some few points that I want to point out to you, and which is very important. I know I talk about a lot how to overcome obstacles and setback, but this is one of the hardest. If you have past trauma, or you feel like you've been abused and you just don't know what to do, start here. The first thing you want to do is, unfortunately, you gotta seek professional help. That's the first thing. Like, seek professional help, because it doesn't matter how much you feel like you've did this. There's just certain triggers in your daily life that will basically trigger you, or that will trigger you to have those past memories. Those past memories will come back, and there are certain things that would trigger that. That's what I'm saying. So seek professional help. It can be a therapist. Go through the process, but then in addition to that, do this. The second thing you want to practice self compassion. It's so important. Practice self compassion. Forgive yourself, you see, or forgive the person. There's no need. So if you don't forgive somebody, it's just like you. The best way I can describe it, and this is from a guy, I'm pretty sure, Mandela, Nelson Mandela in South Africa. So this is like the best explanation for forgiveness. So he said it's like holding. He said it's like holding basically like a charcoal, like a hot charcoal, to throw it at someone. You get burned first. So you're hurting yourself by not forgiving someone. So I'm saying, so forgive, and then have self-reflection, and then ultimately forgive yourself. Treat yourself kindly and go through healing. And then the third thing, you want to establish boundaries. This is very important. If you have past traumas, especially women, and then you are in a relationship, oh my God, you want to practice, so you want to establish boundaries with your partner, establish boundaries with your friends and family, because there's just certain things that would trigger that. The way somebody talks to you, the worst is in a relationship. You know, your husband might say something to you that might trigger it, you know, or the way he might act, just act, or um, maybe your sexual life might be in jeopardy because you know, he might be doing something that he thinks is right, but then you think he's crossing the line, and then that kind of triggers like a lot of past traumas, and then, you know, it just get to a point where it just causes a little tension between you guys. So that's one of the things you want to seek professional help is very important. And then another thing too is, the fourth thing is to stay present. I can't stress this enough. Just staying present, because your mind is either locked in the future or in the past. Usually 80% of the time it's in the past. So because it's just running back all memories and just reminding you of things. When you're washing your hands, you're in the toilet, when you're sitting idle, sometimes even when you're watching TV, it just goes on and on and on and on, and it takes you way back to your past traumas. It just make it so. Staying present is like meditation, journaling, mindfulness. You got to practice those things to stay present, and then just do something that kind of helps you stay present in the moment, because really all we have is now. There's really no future or no past. So the time now is what is important. And then the last thing is, you want to build like a supportive network. Like what friends can you get together? What kind of groups can you get together? And one of the best way to get either like a group or like a support group, something like that, the best way to do this, if you have a public library, that's a good way to start, especially if you're on a low budget. That's the best place to start and start connecting. Listen, if you want to learn more about this, go ahead and click the link below, book a call with me, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.